Hi, Michelle. Good. Well, is it gonna be good afternoon? Yeah,
For
good afternoon.
for us, it's actually good afternoon, but I guess it depends on where our viewers are joining from. So, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on wherever you're watching from.
Yeah.
And welcome again to Study Abroad Tips with Michelle. So today
Thank you.
to be our very first appearance on live streaming, and I'd like to say thank you for joining in. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for turning on your notifications to ensure you're part of this live session. So, I have a very important guest with me here today. Her name is Anna Adegoke. She recently moved into Canada about 8 or 7 months ago, and she's got loads and loads of information as far as you're coming into Canada through the permanent residency route. So basically, I've watched Anna in recent times, and I know that she's done a lot of research before she eventually came into Canada. And I feel from the knowledge she has gained based on her journey before she got in here, I think it would really help viewers out there to know what to do, what not to do, what can help you get your visa on time. And this is also applicable for people basically coming into Canada for studies as well. I mean, the only thing that makes a difference is the fact that you're paying your tuition fee and you're coming in to study. But at the end of the day, the visa applications, most of the expectations in terms of finances, everything is just the same and basically aligns with somebody who is coming in through PR. So don't feel there's a miss here in any way. And today we'll be happy to take your questions. So if you came in here or you're coming in with your questions, we'll be happy to address your questions. You can type your questions here in the session and then we would attend to them as we are having this conversation. Or better still, you could send us a DM afterwards and we can attend to you personally. Whichever way works for you, we're fine. So, Anna, let's get to meet you officially. Thank you for joining, first of all. So, let's,
Thank
um,
you, Michelle. Thank you
uh,
so much, Michelle. It's
yeah,
nice being here and grateful for the privilege. Okay, my name is Anna, like she already mentioned, and I recently moved to Canada, like she mentioned. I'm a permanent resident. I've been here for approximately 6 months. Yeah, thereabouts.
I think 8 months. Yeah.
No, it's okay. Okay.
For you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so and I reside in Ontario, precisely.
Great. So, Anna, today we want to tap into the anointing. We want to tap into all the information you've gathered over the years or over the period that you started the journey of coming into Canada. And I know you're here basically on your PR. So people out there really want to know some basic information they don't have, not because I would say not because they are not well informed, but probably because they haven't created as much time as you have put in to do your research. And I'm happy you accepted to share this wealth of experience you've gained, over the period of time you started your application and up until you got in here. So, would you at this point like to tell us what the necessary things one needs to prepare for if they are looking at coming to Canada through a permanent residency route?
Okay. Okay, first of all, I have to put out a disclaimer. I'm not in any way an immigration consultant.
Oh,
I'm not
no.
licensed. Whatever I'm going to share here is just going to be based on my experience,
Yeah.
and that's it. So you may want to consult an immigration consultant if you want to get them to do your applications. So for my own experience, there are different pathways to become a permanent resident. So it all depends on how you want to come in. First of all, we have what they call spousal visa. So you come in through a spousal visa. You can also come in through student route because at the end of the day, everything leads to a permanent residency pathway. So that's why
Yeah.
I'm mentioning this. People coming through the job offer route. People coming through there's this other route. You can come in job offer, express entry. Yeah, that was what I wanted to mention. So you can go through these various routes I've mentioned, and this information you can find them on the website, IRCC website. If you go to www.canada.ca, if you do your research, you just type how do I immigrate to Canada? It will just give you to populate everything you need to know. Or you can go to cic dot g g gc gic dot
I
just
think
a
I
minute.
had all of these
Yes,
links.
cic.gc.ca. Yeah. Yeah, cic.gc.ca. So this information out there, if you take your time to read, if you take your time to do a research, this information are there. All you need to do is just take your time to research. You can own it, and you would get everything you want. It's online. So, like I mentioned, there are different pathways to get a PR. It's not just one way. I mentioned spousal visa. I mentioned the express entry. I mentioned even provincial nomination. You can also get it from a province. A province can nominate you. Then you can also come in through a student route. You can come in through the express entry. So those are the various pathways that you can come to Canada.
Okay, so I'm aware there are some certain language tests one needs to get into the express entry pool, either for the PRO or the express entry route. So, what are these tests that can help to actually boost one's score? Is it just the IELTS? I need information there.
Okay, not just the IELTS. You can take IELTS English language. That's the International English Language Test. That's what we call the IELTS. You can also take the French. So those are the two recognized languages that you can take the exams in that can help you boost your scores, your CRS score. That's what it's called. So you might want to check out what the CRS score is. The term I'm using is it's called the CRS score. So that's a little research for you to figure out what that is. So you can also research on that. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. So, upon applying for your visa, let's talk about when you got your visa, all the things you actually needed to put together before you left Nigeria. I mean, a lot of times people get their visas when they are not even expecting, and especially for students, if for example a student is meant to resume first week in January and your visa comes out last week in December, most times it feels like a hassle. You need to put things together, and you could get students forgetting what they need to put together. So maybe give us details on what people need to prepare adequately for before they leave Nigeria, what they should carry, what they shouldn't carry. I think that's what
Okay.
students get prepared properly.
Okay. So I want to believe that I'm not just talking to just people who are coming to study. I'm talking to everyone who plans to immigrate. And so I'll give a general information and then you just pick what is applicable to you. So,
Sure.
first things first, the Canada has pre-arrival services for people. So, for PR, when you get your confirmation of permanent residence, they send you like the information. You reach out to them, they help you settle in real fast. I don't think it's applicable for students, but
Mm.
for the permanent residents, you have access to private services. When you come in, they help you navigate the system easily. They tell you, oh, this is what you need to do. You need to get your social insurance number. You need to go open a bank account. They help you get they help you look at your qualifications, what you studied back home, and how you can transfer those skills here into the Canadian. So they help you revamp your resume in the Canadian style. They even give you a mentor who would mentor you on how to get a job. And they're just there to just guide you all the way through. So you don't have to worry if you're coming a permanent resident. You have pre-arrival services that you can sign up for. You can just type in pre-arrival services in Canada, you see them. It's just there on the internet. Or newcomer services. Newcomer settlement services. You've
Okay.
Googled them. Yeah, you find them online.
Also actually works for students. But for students, basically, the school helps with basically all the pre-arrival services information anyone needs. So
Okay.
there are lots of orientations currently going on because I mean, most schools are resuming in the first week of January. So currently there are trainings, there are information sessions. So depending on the school anybody is going to, all you need to do is to, keep checking your mails. They send out all those infos to attend those sessions so that you know what you need to do when you get to the border, what you don't need to do as
Mm-hmm.
you come into Canada, the things you should first focus on if it's to get your social insurance number, all of those information. Basically, I think the schools usually help. They have a team that provides those information to students emails, but I mean, there's no harm in additional knowledge. So if you're coming in here through a student route and then you belong to different WhatsApp group, make yourself
Yes.
people ask questions. I'm sure someone would know someone. Like I know Anna, and I know she has a lot of information for you. So Anna, please tell us what to pack and know and what not to pack. Because
Okay.
a lot of us actually pack a miss when we are traveling. People just feel, oh, I'm not going to get to eat any African food. So let me pack Indomie, let me pack this one. So please tell us the kind of luggage we need and what we don't need, because there are lots of things to access here in Canada. And then by the time you get here, you'll be like, why did I have to go through that hassle? In a lot of things together.
Okay. First things first, let's talk about the money parts because I like money.
Yes, banker that you've always been. Please go ahead.
Okay, so before you travel, first of all, you need to go to the bank and sort out your first of all your token.
Okay.
I think you should sort that out because without money, what are you doing? You're spending naira and you need to convert to dollar before you come here. So you just want to just be sure that you can access your funds back home. So get your token. Even if you feel you have a token, go and check. Let's be sure that it's still working. Then also check your apps. Your app, what's your limit? You want to increase your limit? Is your limit okay for you? And then you want to also look at your debit cards. What's the validity on the card? Is your card expiring in the next 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year? You want to go to the bank and tell them, okay, can I get a new card? And you pay for this card, so
That's
nobody should decline.
because
Sorry?
I said about the card, very important, because when I was coming in, my dollar card was expiring in 3 months. So I quickly had to just get to the bank and ask for a request for a new card. And honestly,
Mm.
that was the best thing I did for myself because upon arrival, the dollar card came in really handy for almost
Yeah.
like everything, including my Uber rides and all of that. So,
Yeah. And then if you know you're traveling, you want a Naira card that works. I can't speak for other banks, but I know that Providus Bank, their Naira card is fantastic. It will not disappoint you. It will not
oh,
fail you.
that means you can actually use their Naira card here comfortably, and the
Ah,
charges are not.
good. Yeah. You want to get a Naira Providus card. It works.
Oh,
Take
okay.
my word on it. Okay, so you get your cards, get your cards renewed. You want to confirm the validity, so you have your cards renewed. Then you most likely might change your phones. So, sometimes when you need to move your app to a new phone, you need the debit cards as well to be able to connect to be able to activate a new application on the new device. So debit cards would always come in handy. It's not because sometimes you're like, oh, I'm not going to spend from that debit card, but you need the debit card to actually install another app, maybe in a new device. So that's that about banking. Get your tokens sorted out, get your banking apps to maybe increase your limits, get your debit cards, you get a new one, check your validity and get a new one. Then you want to also get an adapter. Adapter with multiple points. An international adapter because you
Very
need to charge your
important.
phone.
That can
Yes,
be frustrating when you get
yes.
in, you're in an
Mm,
Airbnb and you want to get your laptop charged or you want to
mm,
phone powered. Oh my god, that's the part I didn't enjoy when I got here.
yes.
Like it's frustrating.
Yeah, the charging point is not the same what you have in Nigeria. It's totally different.
Hmm.
You want to charge your phone at the airport, you're wondering, I can't charge my phone. You don't want to be stranded. Not just the adapter, also get your power banks handy. Some airlines might not even have the charging points on the airline. So just get your power bank handy so that if you're not able to charge in the airplane, you can use your power bank to power your phone. And then maybe when you even get here, because here the weather, because it's cold, the batteries run down really fast. And then you want to be able to have your power bank on the go. You don't want to start spending dollars that you haven't earned. So I am for cutting costs. Just buy your things in Nigeria in the interim, in Naira, because if you say, oh, I can come and buy a power bank here, what's the point? Mm-mm. You buy it in dollars. If you do the conversion, you will cry, you know. So that's that about the power bank. Get a power bank. It's very, very important. Then you want to go to your network provider. Tell them this is applicable to both students, anybody that is traveling. You want to keep your number. You can browse. How do I keep my number? MTN, you go online. I know MTN's code used to be start 365 hash. There's a way you pay a certain amount to preserve that number for you. Because if you don't do that, you might lose your number to someone else. And let me tell you the implication of that. You carry out your banking transactions, your SMS alert goes to that number. Someone else that they've given your number to has access to your transactions and they see your alerts. You might also probably want to deactivate your SMS before leaving from the bank. So you can um just just stick to just the email. You might just want to keep just the email so that you can get your email alerts and deactivate the SMS just in case if something happens and your number is not, you're not able to keep your number and they gave out your number to someone else. You don't want them seeing your transactions on your mobile because you still be sending money to your parents back home or your siblings or to your home church. You pay your tithes, so you might just, I think I advise that you deactivate your SMS alerts when you're moving. Just keep your email alerts. That's that
Okay,
about that.
but
Then,
not deactivating the SMS alerts. I think there are some codes usually that they may be sending to your Nigerian number. How does that work if you deactivate your SMS code?
okay, I want to believe it's the OTP. OTP can also be sent to your email.
Okay, yeah.
So that's not a
I
problem. So,
activated
yeah.
the alerts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So even if you're talking about your Gmail account and okay, you say your Gmail account wants to send a code, you can do such that you use another email address to get those codes that maybe your Gmail account might want to get. So there's always an alternative to a phone number. An email works. So also please bring your clothes. So bring show your native.
Important.
Don't let nobody should tell you story. Don't you don't want to come and sew native here. Yeah, native is expensive.
Like
Show
yes,
your natives, bring your clothes.
bring even in the winter. The thing is, you can still dress properly in the winter. Just make sure you have your tamak wear in. Then you have
Mhm,
thick jackets on, and you
mhm.
need those jackets, those thickness outside. If you find yourself indoors, I mean, you're free, so you could still deck up in your African wear and still,
And look nice.
and look nice.
Yes.
So in
You
fact,
get tired of the jeans. You don't want
when
to be wearing jeans every time. We're Africans. We love our traditional attire.
I love to dress African. I love to dress like in Nigeria.
Same here. Same here.
Sometimes you're just the only person, and it feels really great. Don't
And you get compliments, so not just that. And everybody's like, oh, you look good.
a lot of compliments. Oh, this looks good on you. In my mind, I'm like, you guys, you need to come to a level. You can't just be wearing sweaters all year round.
Oh,
But
yes.
I basically
Yeah.
say it's important not to do away with your clothes. They have clothing. It's okay if you're migrating and you don't want to look African again, but if you still want to be a baby girl and have your stuff for a chap man, you could actually do that. Don't give
Mhm.
away your clothes. The clothes are very expensive here, first of all.
Yeah.
Want to go
Like
for
jeans. Like, for example, the jeans, a pair of jeans. Jeans are
that
cheaper in Nigeria. Buy your jeans in Nigeria.
jeans. The first pair of jeans I had to buy in Canada, I spent over $100. I think about $130, and I was like, did I just do that to myself? I mean, something you can reasonably get in Nigeria for less than 50. Here, you're going to get it for over $100. So if you
Yeah.
jeans, buy them from Nigeria,
Yeah,
honestly. And
buy
if
your jeans.
you're here already and you have people that can send those things for you from there, it really works. But I really don't think you should do away with your material clothing. It's very important
Mm,
here. If you come here and you decide, oh, you want to fit into the system and you don't want to look Nigerian or African anymore, it's really up to you. But I think
yeah.
it's about everything. And then another thing I think about the clothing, people should can you say a little bit about what warm clothing, because I mean people who are coming in January are actually coming in the thick of winter.
Oh yes.
What
You should come with your you could get you don't need to buy them brownie. You can actually go get some pre owned from the thrift store. You could get turtlenecks, and one winter jacket is fine. That will just take you on the trip. If you come here, you can buy winter jacket. That I recommend here, so that you can get, because the winter jackets we buy here, it actually shows the temperature. So you know what you're buying. So you could just buy one winter jacket in Nigeria, then you can buy turtlenecks, and then the muffler, and then the cap, and then the mittens. You can get them in Abuja. You can go to the thrift market they call Karumo. You go to Lagos, you can go to Yaba. You go to Port Harcourt, you go to Mile One. So you just cut cost on that one when you come here. And please don't buy boots in Nigeria. Come and buy your boots here. We have fine boots.
Yes, fine boots. They could be pretty expensive, but I mean, you will be getting the right kind of shoes for the weather. Don't buy boots in Nigeria. Honestly, don't. But
Mhm,
jackets, like she said, one or two is fine. I came with three. I ended up not using any of them. As soon as
mhm.
I came in January, so it was pretty cold. I needed something to keep me warm compared to what I came with from Nigeria. When I bought those things, I felt like, oh, I'm actually coming with warm clothes, but it wasn't warm
Made
enough.
that.
It-
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think don't buy too many winter things in
Things,
Nigeria.
yes. I
Buy,
think one winter jacket is fine. It's
yeah,
fine.
one is
Yeah.
fine. The other accessories, the jackets, the mufflers, sorry, the gloves. Yeah,
Mm.
those ones you could actually, I think they are pretty much the same, so you could get them there. But for those jackets, I don't know why we're emphasizing on the jackets. It's because the cold here.
It's
Your
not,
mate-
no, it's not your
and
mate.
especially if you're having this experience for the first time, getting here when it's cold can be depressing, can be discouraging, because you would always just want to find yourself indoors, because as soon as you step out, reality will dawn on you that you're abroad. So it's
Yeah.
to keep some funds. I think you could get jackets. Most times, you could get stores where they are running sales. So
Mhm,
they could be expensive, but all you need to always look out for is opportunities to buy those jackets on sales. I think I got some very good ones for about $50, and the
mm,
going rates were like $250. But because it was on sale, I could get them for that amount. So
mm,
pretty much, you keep funds like within that range to get something really good. So
mhm.
about what do I need to put in that
Ex-
so that I won't have issues at the immigrations, because sometimes you really don't know what to pack, and then when
Okay, but you're not even done with the list of things you need to bring. Driver's extracts is very
really,
important.
yes,
Are they
yes,
going to be hopping on the bus? The bus
mm,
will take you 1 hour for a 10-minute trip. You want to drive your car. So please come with your driver's extract. Go to FRSC, tell them you want your driver's. It just shows your driving history. That document is so important.
so
You need
important.
it.
And
Very
I,
important.
I didn't know how important the extract was. What I got was my international driver's license. So I came in without the extract. And then when I went for my driving test, because of the extract, I couldn't go for the full driver's test. I had to
Mm,
for the medium one, the G2 test. So that is very important. And I tried
mm,
actually to get the extracts from Nigeria, and it was taking forever. So, and
yeah.
and
Yeah.
I think another thing people really need to know, for Canada, I know for other countries is different. Commuting through trains and all of that makes life easier. But here in Canada, I think your best bet is if you can save up some little cash to get a vehicle that can, carry you around, makes life really, really easy.
Easier, yes. It just saves you time commuting, because commuting on the bus can be time wasting, really.
Yeah. It
So you
can
want
be
to get a car like ASAP, as soon as possible. So get your extract, come take your test. And the extract is not in all provinces, right? It just depends on the provinces. Because I hear
yeah,
in Calgary, they don't really need that. That you once you give them your ID card, they can verify from Nigeria your number of years you've been driving. But in a place like Ontario, you need your driver's extract. It's very important here.
and for people going to BC, they don't need those extract things. And
Mm.
they just, I think that there's an assessment they just do for you, and you go straight for the full driver's test. But for
Mm.
I don't know why our things in Ontario are basically different.
Different. Yes. So also, I also want people to also speak to the insurance company. You've been driving for a while. You've not had any damages. You've not had any accidents. Just let them write a letter so you can also bring it here. It will help you get a very good premium, like a discounted premium, because when you bring such a letter from your insurance company back home, you bring it here, you get a discounted premium. So that's also a tip for either a student or a parent. So it's
Yeah,
just a general tip that you
work,
need that.
work, either as students or PR, it works with really.
Either way.
Yeah.
Yes. Then your kids' vaccination card. Bring an updated vaccination card.
Anna, as you're mentioning these things, I just feel embarrassed because I came here without all of those things. So I had to like it took me a little time to actually settle in, especially with my kids. I didn't come with that vaccination card. And I started getting emails from school that they were going to take them out if I don't present those things. So thank you for remembering to mention that. It's very important for those coming with kids.
No problem. And then you also want to bring your medical records. So if you've had any underlying illnesses back home, just try and bring your medical report so you can give it to your family doctor to update. Same here. Then I advise that you buy your Bible or your Quran. Bring your Bible. Me, I like to read Bible. I don't like to use the apps really because the Bible here is $65. Really,
Okay.
converting that to naira, how much is Bible in Nigeria? So bring your Bible, bring your Quran, hard copy, hold it. Except you want soft copy, oh. If you want, it's fine. It's up to you. But if you are like me, that like hard copy, please buy it and bring it because it's not cheap here. Mhm. Yes.
Thank you for reminding
Then
that part.
no problem.
Yeah.
Then you want to also go to if you want your kids to go to a Catholic school, you also want to bring their baptismal card. Yes. So if you don't want them to go to a public school, so it's optional for you. If your kids aren't baptized, get them baptized and get the cards handy so you can get them enrolled in a Catholic school. That's one of the criteria to be able
Okay.
to enroll them.
Let me add a little to the school, the public school, Catholic school. So there are other religious private schools here. If probably you're not a Catholic, but for those ones, you may need to pay a tuition fee. But for the Catholic school, is as free as going to a public school, and I would say 100% there are more morals for those children, for your kids, going to a Catholic school than going to a public school. So if you're not a Catholic, you I think you still have the chance to engage your children in a Catholic school. So you don't actually have to be a Catholic before you think of enrolling your children in a Catholic school, but just to curb out a lot of excesses that goes on with the public schools. So we usually would want to encourage Catholic school, at least
Yes.
free and
Yeah.
um, a lot better.
Yeah. Then excuse me. If you've just resigned from your job and you're moving, I think I also advise that you go to the pension, the PFAs, pension fund administrators, get your pension documents sorted out, because when usually you assess your pension after 4 months. You assess 25% of your pension if you have resigned. And you don't want to be here and they're telling you, oh, you didn't sign this, you have not done your biodata, you've not been captured. Advise that you go there, sort out your pension before you travel, and then you can maybe check if you need to do your BVN verification, you need to do your data capturing. Just get that sorted out. Then maybe the forms, you can email it to them. You can pick up the form, fill it, and get your account officer details, because you do have an account officer with the pension. You can also sort that out. It's very important. Nigeria hasn't got to that point where everything is done online, but try to do the basic things. It's possible. Then other things that I advise, like for we ladies, you want to do your microblading in Nigeria. Microblading is not cheap here. It is not cheap. No, it's not cheap. So if you want to look pink, always pink, fresh, never to be cut on fresh. Once your microblade, you do it in Nigeria because you will not have time. Nobody has time to carve. They don't even have razor blade here. So who wants to carve your eye? There's no razor blade in Canada. You can't see it here. So you can't say, oh, somebody will carve for you. No, it does not exist. So do your microblading there if you want. So that's also something that I feel you can also do. Then your glasses. You see, I wear glasses. This one, my heart beats. Your glasses are not cheap. Frames ordinarily like $200. Good prescription, it can range between $200 to $300. So you say for just one pair of glasses can cost you $500. You may want to go to where you do it in wherever you reside. I don't think there's anywhere in Nigeria that you might probably do your glasses more than 100K. Like just moderate budgets, maybe 50 to 100K. So you might want to get your prescription glasses in Nigeria. If possible, get one or two. It's still far cheaper than spending a $500 for just one pair of glasses here. So that's my own take. So far, so good. Then you may want to get your bitter cola. Bitter cola is a natural thing that we take in Nigeria. It can help you with, it all depends on what you, people take it for various reasons. Those little things too. Yeah, travel with it. Some parents, I know they give their kids when they have stomach upset and all. That's what I don't. I know people do that, but
I
it's your
already.
choice. It's your choice. I don't know why people are big on bitter cola,
Hmm.
but it's your choice. Yeah. Then you want to bring some food items that you like, and then you can cargo. I'll advise you actually cargo, because cargo is cheaper, because if you want to pay for excess luggage at the airport, it's expensive. So you
Yeah.
can just take the basic things you need, dry food, things that are not illegal, carry legitimate things. You can blend your egusi, your ogbono, blend and package them, your what do you call it, your pepper, your yaji, you can, just packet them nicely. Those ones are okay to carry. Like dry foods are allowed. You can't bring in animal protein. You can get your animal protein here, like we shop from the African store. You get your animal proteins and they are good. We have hard chicken, you have your goat meat, everything is here in the African store. So you're not gonna miss in anything. Even your iru, ogiri, everything is here.
Everything is pretty much here, and for Ontario, they have too many African stores. Sometimes
Mm.
you're worried of them should I patronize. I don't know about.
Mhm.
I know that for Ontario, they have lots of African stores, and their prices,
Mhm.
to be honest, are fair enough. I think the
Mm.
only food item or food stuff I know is pretty expensive is yam.
Mhm.
I
Sure.
think because I think that has to do with what it takes to import them here. But otherwise, every other food stuff, the prices are fair enough for
Mhm.
you not to bother to pack too much. But like Anna has said, you could actually work on cargoing your food stuff so that you don't have excess luggage or you don't have to pay for that at the airport. And Anna, like how long does it take if you have to cargo food stuff? How long usually does it take to?
No, if it's air cargo, because we have air cargo, we have sea cargo. Air cargo is faster, an average of 7 to 10 working days. Sea cargo is an average of 4 months, 3 to 4 months. So most likely you're going to be doing air cargo.
I think
Mhm.
cargo is for people who have stores here. I mean, what are you go by? Yeah,
Yes, sea cargo usually would ask you to send a minimum of 200 kg, but air cargo 10 kg minimum.
yeah. Okay, okay,
Mm.
fair enough. 10.
And they have a lot of them online. Go to Instagram, you find them, just choose and you send.
Okay. So you don't
Mhm.
still more on the list.
Sorry? I think I've exhausted that. Just a minute, please.
Okay, so now tell us what we need to have in our hand luggage, especially when it has to be done upon arrival.
Okay, on your hand luggage, you need to come in with of course, your bank statement is important. You told them you had a certain amount of money. You must bring that money when you are coming.
So what's
The
the
money must.
again.
Money must be in your account. It's what is called proof of funds. Your cost of living allowance. That money, bring it. Because when you get to the border control, they will definitely ask for it. They might not.
They might
50-50.
case
You don't
by
want to take chances. So I'd rather advise that you have it handy. And then for a student, you come in with your student visa. When you get to the airport, still to the border control, they give you, that's when they issue your student permit.
becoming
And
students, your student visa, your enrollment letter that the school
mm,
sends to you. Basically, everything that has to do with the school should just be handy because
yeah,
if you find yourself on that queue and then you don't have your documents at hand, you may
yes.
be in the airport but looking for where to print out those documents. So it's better to get them printed out and have them handy, you know.
Mm. Then for PR, you get your confirmation of permanent residency. You have it handy. Your bank statement, you have that handy, and basically your passport. So that's it. When you get in, you definitely need an address because they're going to ask you where you headed.
Yeah.
So you have to give an address. They're gonna fill the form for you. You fill the form, you put the address to state where you're headed. And of course, I want to believe you've gotten an accommodation before you came in. If you haven't, there are websites I can recommend for you. You can go to kijiji.ca. You can go to Facebook Marketplace. You can go to rentfaster.ca. These websites you can get, you can look for your accommodation before you land, or you can even search for a realtor. You can network with your friends. When you're coming in, don't be alone. Talk, ask people.
Ask people questions. Don't be a loner because honestly,
Mhm,
if you don't have the right information, you're going to get a lot of things wrong upon arrival. But when you ask questions, it's like a lead way for you to just know what to do. Like for me, when I got here, I already sorted out accommodation through one of the WhatsApp groups I joined. I just stumbled into one of those WhatsApp groups, and then somebody posted, "Oh, my room is available for rent for 3 months." And I quickly DM'd the lady, and we just spoke a few times, made my payment. So I already knew where I was arriving to. So,
mhm,
and that happens a lot if you find yourself in those Telegram groups or WhatsApp groups. You could just ask your questions there if you don't see people advertising, "Oh, I need accommodation." And you just see that somebody's reaching out to you to help because, I mean, one way or the other, before all of us got in here, we got that help. So
mhm.
willing to throw it out there for people who need it. But if you don't ask, we wouldn't know what you need. And then that's when you
Except you have plenty money.
basically complain. Another
Yeah.
thing I think that was very useful to me was or very useful to some of my students. I usually tell them when you get to the airport, you find different um, call networks providers. You could just get your SIM card from right there from the airport. You know,
Mhm,
you're not waiting to come here before you now start looking for how to get a line from the
yeah,
airport. You can actually buy your SIM card. If you
mhm,
have one phone, you can use an eSIM. So that means you don't have to get rid of your Nigerian line immediately. So the eSIM
mhm.
added to your actual Nigerian SIM you came here with, and then you
Yeah.
already, so that you can communicate easily because it's cheaper for you to get their SIM card or the SIM card here in Canada immediately.
Mhm,
And because you may be having so many calls within the country to make so many calls so that you're not having to spend too, or just depending on your MTN roaming. So you can
mhm.
get SIM at the airport as well.
Yeah, yes, that's true. So those are the basic things you need to get into when you get to the airport. I
Okay.
mean, yeah.
So can you tell us a little more about getting accommodation? Because that's usually people's concern, like getting accommodation upon arrival. Maybe if you're not in an Airbnb or you are in an Airbnb and you're trying to secure accommodation and move in, what should people really expect in that line?
Okay. First things first. Before you even start looking for accommodation, you must have money. Money is very important. Accommodation is not cheap. Money is key. Normally, when you're coming in, the landlords want to ask for credit score. You don't have that. as an immigrant or a student. You don't have that. And there are ways to mitigate that. So you might want to have a discussion with either the realtor or the landlord. First of all, I want to believe you've even identified the property you want. Maybe via Facebook Marketplace, like I mentioned, or kijiji.ca or the rentfaster.ca or condo.ca, or you get a realtor, or if you network, your friends can give you, oh, network, this realtor helped me get my house. You reach
Yeah.
out to them. So there's certain things they will ask you for. They will ask you for your pay stubs. Like in my case, they asked me for my pay stubs. They asked me for my bank statement. They wanted to know if I had the capacity to rent a house. So you want to have money, because if you don't have money, they won't give you house. You don't have a credit score. So you're coming from back home, you must show something. In the absence of that, maybe you might want to negotiate with them, because the realtors can say, okay, can you give me a guarantor or a
Yes.
referee here in Canada that works in Canada? So that's where networking comes in. You cannot, that's where if you know people, if you don't know anybody here, then oh, your options are limited.
Your
Mhm.
guarantee people here, yes. And I think specifically for students, because most times students are not looking for houses, they are just looking for a room, you know. Landlords would always ask you to pay your first month and your last month's rent. Very
Yeah.
important. If you're coming in here and you're hoping that, oh, I'll get a job and start paying for accommodation, shall carry accommodation that can cover you for 3 to 5 months fee.
So
And student accommodation, um, depending on your province, is from 500 and above. 500 can
shared room,
room.
shared
The
room,
that 500 is shared room.
shared room.
Even if you're
Mhm.
going to October or you're going to Saskatchewan, 500 accommodation is shared room. If you don't
Mhm.
want to share, you need to step that 500 up to maybe 700
Or 900 with
or
utilities. Yeah.
900, depending on your location. If you're going
Yeah.
GTA, if you're in Toronto, trust me, it's 900 to 1,000 for one room.
Yes.
Even for
Yes.
accommodation, you'll be paying up to 800 or thereabout. So it just basically depends on where you're going to. So if your budget for accommodation per month is like 6 or 700, make that budget for 3 to 6 months,
Mhm.
because really you're not getting a job when you get in. A lot of times it may take you up to 3 months to get a job. And for those to
Yeah.
have a roof over your head, you need to
Mhm.
food to eat. So
Yes.
guys, coming to Canada, don't come in empty.
And you must come. You know, I said you must come with money. You see
Come
that
with
money is very
come
necessary.
because when you get to Canada, before you understand the system, you may end up spending so much. Honestly,
Mhm.
you may end up spending so much, especially if maybe you're not conversant with the bus routes, and then sometimes you have to maneuver your way out through using Uber. Uber is expensive. Come
Hmm.
here.
Hmm. You don't want to go there.
Yeah, I touched there, right? Yeah. So it's necessary to come with enough funds so that you're not stranded or you're not getting everything too difficult. And like Anna has said, please try to network. Don't be a stranger. If you come to a place where you don't have a friend or any family member and you see a black person, walk up to them and say, hello, I'm Nigerian. Don't isolate yourself, because
Mhm.
when we see people complaining online, oh, I'm regretting coming to Canada. Most times, ask them questions. It's not that,
Yes. It's not
honestly.
that bad.
No,
To ask
but
them why.
it's
Mhm. They
not
didn't
that.
come prepared. If you come prepared, you
Come
will not have
prepared,
issues.
come prepared, and understand that it's a relocation. It is not a continuation of what we're doing. It is
Yes.
a all over again. So it means
Mhm.
we learn how to crawl, then walk, then
Mhm.
run, because
Mhm.
I feel some of us, some people just come to Canada and they want to start running. It's a lie. It will not happen. You need to go through stages to understand the system, to
Mhm.
find placement, to build your community
Mhm.
before you can rest easy and say, okay, I'm actually having fun in this place. Because I know that for almost everybody who gets here, at least for the first 3 months, you may be asking yourself, what am I doing here? How did I get here? Even with
Mhm.
your comfort and everything, you'll be asking yourself those questions. But that's what I feel has to do with relocating. even if you were living in the mainland and you moved to the island, it would
Mhm.
take a while to really get into the
Adjust. Yeah.
adjust. So it's that adjustment stage that most people really go out of line. And then just understand that as a student, you can get a job, but it doesn't come in. It's
Immediately.
immediately.
Mm.
You have to send out loads and loads of applications, either online or on site applications. Just be open minded to do
Mm.
anything legal to keep you here. And as soon as you hit one job and it's in your CV that you have worked here before, anywhere you're applying again, that work experience counts for you, and it helps you. You keep growing on on different levels, and then you get to enjoy being here. So Anna, would you want to share some benefits that comes with coming into Canada as a PRO migrant, or what are those benefits? There are some things that coming here as a you will not have access to. As a PR migrant, you would have access to those things. So let's Anna help us a little, and give us access on how we can, find those things, find those avenues, find those links as well to get fully settled.
Okay, so one of the benefits you get as a PR is the fact that you can apply for citizenship. That's one of like the major benefits.
And how long?
So you're required to stay here for 3 years for you to qualify to apply for citizenship. So as a permanent resident. So from when you become a permanent resident, you need to count 3 years. Then you apply for citizenship. And then the other benefits are you have social security benefits, like a lot of them. Um, okay, you get free education. Free education is part of it. Of course, free education not just for PR, like even the fact that you have a study permit, you're here, you have not visitor, a work permit, you can actually get free education. Then healthcare, free healthcare. Free healthcare is available for permanent residents. For students, I think they pay health insurance. Yes, you have to
Yes,
pay health insurance.
part of
Yes.
the tuition fee that students pay.
Yes, students pay, so it's not free for them. Yeah. And then for people on work permit, I know it's free for them for the healthcare. It's free for the other benefits is you um yeah we basically those are like the key things, and then the child benefits as well. The child benefits that do not come to people who are not PR. They don't have access to that, and some other benefits that permanent residents get. You know, so those are like the major things that PR gets that students
Okay,
don't get.
this benefit, let's start counting as soon as you arrive, or it has to take a period of time. And
Sorry.
I mean, the benefits you're talking about coming into Canada as a PR, do those benefits start immediately you arrive, or it has to take a period of time? And then I also know that they
Excuse me.
or loans to PR migrants for studies. Could you like share a little light on that as well?
Okay, yes. The benefits that they are immediately you land, it's activated like immediately. There's no like you wait 24 hours later. Immediately you will get your social insurance number, which is called the SIN. That's what identifies you. As soon as you have that, you can just turn in your application. And then yes, permanent residents have access, permanent residents, refugees, and Canadian citizens. They have access to grants to further their education by the government, which is only open to these are part of the social benefits that they get. That's not open to
Sorry.
studies. That's one of them. Mm, mm.
Okay, so I'm not sure how many people we have on the call this afternoon or this evening, depending on your time zone. Please feel free to post in your questions, to send in your questions, ask questions. This was just basically to address everyone's concerns or confusion. I mean, if you're very close to relocating to Canada and you have questions that haven't been answered, we're basically here to, we're just keeping this discussion going pending when we get your questions. So if you have any questions, please post them so that we address them. Okay, so Anna, thank you very much for addressing every key points that mentioned out here. It's really insightful. I would also like to add for the student route visa, when she said it takes for permanent residency, it takes 3 years for you to access becoming a citizen. For the students visa routes, it actually takes just a little longer than that, because I mean, if you're coming here on a 1 year uh, on a 1 year degree, you'll be entitled to apply for a 1 year post-study work. And then if you are arriving on a 2 year program, you'll be entitled to apply for a 3 year post. That makes it 5 years for you. And within that period, you would be eligible to apply for your PR. That's if you've accumulated a certain number of hours for work, you apply for the PR and then apply for the citizenship visa as well. So usually it takes a period of 4 to 5 years if you're coming here through the study route. That's why I'm basically saying it's not far fetched from someone coming in here as a PR migrant. It takes them 3 years. But for you who is coming in here for studies, if you do a 2 year program, your 2 year program plus your post study covers or gives you the chance to migrate to PR and then to
Mhm.
since
Yeah.
visa here in Canada. So I mean, it goes both ways. Okay, so we have someone sending in questions here. How long did you say one needs to stay to get their citizenship? I think I just mentioned that.
That's just
Yeah, you just need to be here for a period of 3 years if you're coming in through a PR. But if you're coming in through a study route, it takes a period of 4 to 5 years to get your citizenship. So it's a bit longer. So, guys, post in your questions. We'll be happy to attend to them. So Anna, let's talk about your children and getting them settled in school. How was it? Was it easy for them, transiting from their Nigerian schools and getting used to the schools here? Because for adults, I deal with a lot of students, and I know that they are always having loads and loads of challenges because the method of teaching, what you're used to back home, is different. Here it feels like it's back to back to back. Before you know it, you're having assignments here. So I get students telling me, "You didn't tell me this is how it was," and I will say, yeah, I've not had the experience of studying, so I will
yeah.
tell you how it is. My job is to ensure that you get your visa and not to give you the actual experience. So, based on students' feedbacks, I know that transiting as an adult with the system you're used to, it's usually crazy. Most times, it takes them the whole first semester to understand what they are actually doing. So, I'd like to know, does this apply to kids as well? Is settling in school a difficult venture for our kids as well?
Well, my kids, they really do not have I think the school is like no pressure for kids basically. Like I think the pressure starts when they get to your level, maybe maybe undergraduate or maybe master's level. But then my kids are still in pre-kindergarten and grade. They're still in like they're not even up to grade 6 yet. So they love going to school. They look forward to going to school. I think they incorporate a lot of recesses. So I think it's a no pressure school like what they had back home. Like they don't give them those kind of assignments back to back and all that. So it's been pretty easy for them and they love it. They love school. They love going to school. They look forward to going to school. It's not a pressure for them at all.
Yes,
Yes.
and especially if you're coming in here in a new term with your kids, it makes it easy for them. For me, my kids came in here in the middle of the term, so it was really a hassle for them. That's because I've come to understand that if you're starting a new term afresh, you're starting with new friends, new relationships in school. So if you come in the middle of the semester or middle of the term, let me use term because we're talking about kids now. If you come in the middle, most of the kids have their friends they started the term with. So it's difficult for them to open
Mhm.
you and just absorb you and say, oh, you're a new friend. So for me, my daughter, because she looks forward to friends in school, if you ask her why to say so that I'll make friends. you know, everybody just has reasons why they do what they do. My daughter will first tell you so that I can make more friends. It really wasn't funny for her. Her expectations were that as soon as I arrive, everyone would just want to be my friend. So most times when she gets back from school, she's gloomy, and I'm like, "What's up? What happened today?" And she'll say, "Nobody wants to be my friend." So I at some point I had to visit the school. Why are the kids here not friendly? So one of the counselors in school just put me through this guidance that this is what happens. Everybody has their specific friend, so it's difficult for them to feel like you're an intruder. But as they resumed in September, everything is so different. Like, she's excited. She talks about Betha. She has one Betha friend in school, so she's always, "Oh, Betha is my BFF. Mommy, can you get us a necklace that looks the same?" So I just feel they need time to somehow, especially if they didn't start the semester with other children. But on if it comes to teaching methods, I think the kids literally enjoy studying in Canada.
No pressure.
Nigeria. There is no pressure whatsoever. Initially, I just felt, well, my children are not getting anything. They're just going to play.
No.
But over time, I have seen a level of creativity I didn't see back in Nigeria.
Yes.
So there's these academics, they teach them independence, they teach them how to structure their minds creatively.
Yeah.
The kind of conversations that kids here would have with you will just know that intellectually they build them up.
Mm.
Academically, though, they don't rush them, they don't give them huge homeworks. I don't know if it's like that for your kids.
Same here. They don't, and they do a lot of handcrafted things like hands-on.
Hands on. That's, in fact, the first few weeks of school, my son, who was 5 then, just came back and said, "Oh, mom, I really don't understand this school." I said, "Why?" He said, "All we do is play, watch TV, eat, play, watch TV." And he said, "I got bored and told them I wanted to sleep. And they said, 'We don't sleep in school.'" I said, "You don't go to school to sleep." But now he's gotten a hang of the activities and he understands that not just play, you're learning something, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think for children, it's basically different for them. They enjoy it, they get into the system and fit in. Like, initially I was worried that would my children, really feel comfortable, my in with other kids. It was so easy for them. It's even adults who usually get to struggle with the whole migration thing. So somebody asked a question here on free education for PR. Is it for all levels of education? I think you mentioned something about the grants that come with coming in through the permanent residency route. So the question,
Mm-hmm.
free education for PR, is it for all levels of education?
No, it's not for all levels. So it's when it ends at high school. That's it basically.
But I think for beyond high school, they get to pay the home fees, not international fees.
Of course.
For example, if an international student is paying 10,000 or 14,000, a home student is paying 5,000. So as
Absolutely.
permanent residents, right?
Yeah, sorry?
That fees for home students also applies to permanent residents. That's if
Yes.
you haven't got citizenship, you would pay the home fee.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. So the free education ends at high school.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, so Anna, in a nutshell, would you like to tell us how your experience has been so far for the last few months of being in Canada? What do you want to say to encourage people out there not to get there? There are so many negative impressions out there. I really don't want people to think that relocating to come to especially Canada is suicidal. Like it's not
Mm.
that. So I would like you to just give us in a nutshell what your experience has been like so far and what you would advise anyone looking at migrating.
Okay, so far so good. First of all, I owned my decision. I'm happy with my decision. So first of all, you should know your why. You're not moving because your friends are moving. You're not moving because everybody's doing it. Know your why. Your why is what will make you know whether you made the right move or not. And then when you get here, right, it's your personality that will make you prosper. It's not about the environment. So even if you're lazy in Nigeria and you're coming, you still be lazy. So it's just about you. Two, who are you rolling with? Who are your friends? Who's your network? Who are you listening to? Are you listening to the negative people? People are prospering here. People
Yes.
are prospering. So if people are prospering, can you tell yourself that I'll be amongst those that will prosper? So
Yeah.
don't listen to negative. People are prospering even in Nigeria. People are not prospering in Nigeria. So it's the same thing that applies anywhere in the world. So you don't want to say, oh, Canada. It's not about Canada. It's about you. It's you. If
I've
it's gonna
seen
be hard for you, it's gonna be hard for you. It's gonna be easy. It's just you basically. For
yeah.
me, I'm doing okay. I'm fine. I took a decision and I'm going to make it. I'm new here. I'm not there yet. I'm still a work in progress, but I know definitely it's going to get better.
But what has been your exciting moments being here? What is that thing that you feel you feel good, really good about being in Canada? Like
I like,
just
yeah, one of the things I really like here is the fact that I don't hear people screaming. I like the fact that they're so courteous.
don't hear the honking on the road.
I know, like, and when people tell you please, thank you, people are so courteous. People talk to you, people drive home the message. You don't have to shout. That one, I'm so happy about that. Like manners. My
Yeah.
kids are more polite. It's not like they were not polite before, but they are doing better. Like they know, oh please, thank you. Like they're so courteous, So I'm so glad. Like if you're screaming, I'm like asking, why are you shouting? Why are you shouting? You don't shout like that, you
If
know.
this scream, you're going to have to turn back twice before you actually raise your voice.
I
And
know.
driving on the road seems so peaceful.
Yeah.
You can literally drive for 2 hours and you don't hear the sound of a honk,
Yeah.
as driving within your speed limits and you're maintaining your lanes and you're
Mm.
when to. I feel as if everybody here is literally just saying, and I don't know how. Nobody's putting a gun in your head.
To behave well. Like yes, like here you want to even take road trips. These are things that you ordinarily even want to do
Oh,
back home, but here you want to take long road trips. Like me, I went on a 6 hour road trip, and I look forward to going to another road trip. Like it's fun.
like you can imagine, you would even prefer to go on road trips than to go by air. So there
Yeah,
are lots of things. There's some there's some level of peace here.
yeah.
It's just peaceful. I
Mm.
it, the negative side is there, but I think sometimes let's just dwell on the positive side and use that to
Yeah.
people that coming to Canada wouldn't be a bad idea for anyone out there, regardless of all the negativities going all around at the moment.
Mm.
Either
Yeah.
in through a study route or through a PR route. For the
Mm.
record, study routes, I would advise people to go through that because it's faster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It is more expensive, but it is faster. For the PR route, you would do everything that Anna had mentioned from the beginning, which has to do with taking your IELTS, that's the language test, and getting your academic qualification verified by the verification assessment boards like
Mm-hmm.
WES. That is done, and you have a good grade in your IELTS, you can get into the express entry pool and wait. Or
Mm-hmm.
going to different provinces. You can now express your interest to those provinces by applying to them directly. And based on the fact that you've been qualified to be on the express entry route, you can be picked. But for Ontario, you just need to be on that pool, and then they'll pick you from there if your required scores are good enough. Anna mentioned an additional
Family sponsorship too.
family sponsors, yeah, exactly. And I mentioned an additional an additional language test, which is French is the second official language here, so it's an advantage for anyone. A lot of jobs, when you're looking for jobs, most times they are looking for people who are bilingual. So it's not too late for you if you want to stretch yourself a little by acquiring some French speaking skills. It will be of a great advantage to you to also help boost your score. That's if you're coming in through the PR route. But if you want to be in Canada as soon as possible, it's just going to cost you additional funds, which has to do with paying your fees, but
Yeah.
it's faster. So if you're looking
Mhm.
at coming May or in September. I think for May, applications would have been closed already. But if you're looking at coming in September, this is a good time to send in your applications to wherever you want to go to. We have links with a lot of schools here in Canada that we can assist you to apply to and then guide you through the process till you get your visa.
Mm.
Visa success rates are way better than they have been in the last couple of years. They are giving visas to both adults, both undergraduate students. As long as you dot all your I's and cross your T's and put in the right documents, you stand a great chance to get your study visa. It's only going to be a little bit or way higher. Let me not deceive people by telling them that it's just slightly more expensive. It's actually more expensive to come here through the study route, but it's faster. But all the guarantees and the benefits that come with becoming a resident in Canada, you can get them through coming in here through the study route as well. So we're here to help. We're here to assist. Send in your questions. We have a question from Olushola Olaole. So he said, for proof of funds, must the full money stay in your account or can be going out and coming back at intervals? Anna, do you have anything to say for PR? I'll respond for study routes on that question.
Okay. It's not about going out and coming out. That's not what we're looking at, right? You have to have it. If you have it, you have it. Why is it going out? I want to believe you saved towards it, right? So you should have been working on it for a period of time. Why do you need it to go out? I don't think so. It's not necessary. It doesn't need to go out. The money should be there. If it's there, it's there. If it's invested, it's invested. If it's in your account, it's in your account. It's your money, it's your money. Why is it going out?
Well, I think to add to what Anna is saying, I think the funds should just be there. And
Mhm.
it's you're just carrying an envelope to put in the account and say, I want to apply for visa. Canada doesn't work that way. You have to have built the funds over time because you're going to be in a 4 to 6 months bank statement, even for the people, right? Not just for studies.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Mm-hmm.
Some people you go as far as 1 year. So 1 year, see consistency in the account that if you're claiming is your savings, they need to see consistency that the funds have been coming in for a period of time. So don't put money and take it out and put money. You're going to have a challenge with your visa application if you cannot explain or back up the information showing on your bank statement. So
Mm-hmm.
is where they will expect you to just show a bank statement for 1 month. For Canada, you need to show a statement for at least 4 months. And this 4 months has to show consistency and declare the funds. Where did the money come from? How are you making this money? Declaring it means if you got a payment, you put in the receipt, put in a statement where these funds is coming from so that whoever is accessing the visa application will know that your funds are legit. So don't just take in money, take it out, put it in again. It's not a gamble. Better still have a separate account for your Canadian visa processes so that you're not mixing your funds with the bank statement you want to use for your visa application. So probably have a separate account for your regular and daily. findings and have a separate account for the purpose of the visa to just save you from the hassle of explaining too much. I've seen some
Mm.
who had a bank statement that felt like a Bible, like it was so much for a 4 months bank statement. And that's because it's a combination of the account he uses for his daily expenses and everything. So it was a lot. That would get you confused at some point. So if you have plans to travel, just use a separate personal account to make things easy for you and for whoever is accessing your visa so that you don't have a problem. So I haven't seen more questions here that we haven't addressed. So I think we've basically touched all the questions and, as far as possible, shared our experiences. You've experienced,
Yeah.
have loads. I have a mixture of
And
experience.
these informations are available online. If you
Yes,
read up, if you research,
yeah,
you'll find it. Yes.
find
You
them.
read up. So I
Not
also want to encourage people to learn to research,
yes,
read up.
yes.
Yeah.
Read for yourself, because information you read for yourself stays longer than the one that someone just gets to tell you about. If going on a research online is difficult for you, you could just DM us. We'll send you links that you just click and see the information and just read it for yourself and absorb it. And then if you have any challenges and questions, then you feel free to send me a DM, send me a message, and then I can give you the step-by-step guidance just so that you're on the right track. So at this point, I would like to say thank you once again to Mrs. Adegoke for taking out the time. I've taken more than 1 hour of your time today. Thank you
Thank you.
joining us here at Study Abroad Tips with Michelle. Thank you for sharing your experience with us. I mean, not everybody would want to let you know how it went until where they are today, but I mean, you freely dished out as much as you can. Like you said from the beginning, different strokes for different strikes. I mean, what you went through or what you're experiencing because you're in a different province may be different from someone going to another province. I think in you pretty much touched what people should know about and take cognizance to before they make their plans to leave their country. And then for your study information, we are here. We are always available to help, to hold your hand up until you get to your destination of study. But for today, we just focus basically on people coming into Canada. So, guys, sit tight and look forward to more discussions on pre-departure discussions on traveling to other countries besides Canada. We may bring to you UK or US in a couple of days. So thank you for joining in today. And in the absence of any other questions, I'd like to say, Anna, officially, thank you again for joining us today.
Thank you
Well,
for having me.
thank you again. So,
Thank
guys,
you.
have a lovely afternoon. Thank you
All
for
right.
watching. Please like, share. I'm going to post this video for those that were not able to make it to watch it live. You can, click play it and watch it at your time. And if you have any questions, I will be available as usual to respond to all your questions. Thank you once again and have a lovely evening, afternoon, whatever the time is where you're watching from. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye. Bye.